Hey, wonderful third grade people. This is math for week 7 of NTI. The first part of the week is going to be a review of equivalent fractions. Now, way back when, we know that the word equivalent means equal or things that are the same, so we're going to use that to look at fractions. Last week, we did a fraction review, and we put fractions on the number line, and putting the fractions on the number line helped us line up to fractions that look the same, and that's why we're here this week for equivalent fractions. The first way you can find out if a fraction is equivalent or not is to compare them. So we have two pizzas on our screen. This says Quan ate 1/4 of his pizza, and then Aiden ate 1/4 of this pizza. So the question was to partition, that means to cut, and to shade, that means to color in, how much pizza each boy ate. So here's Quan's 1/4 and Aiden's 1/4. And the question here says, Quan says they ate the same amount of pizza because they both ate 1/4 of the pizza. So is he right? Do you agree? And no, Quan is not right. Quan's whole pizza is smaller than Aiden's whole pizza. So even though they both ate 1/4 of the pizza, they did not eat the same amount because Quan's 1/4 is a lot smaller than Aiden's 1/4. So 1/4 is the same fraction, but these pizzas are not equivalent. But if we go down here, we have two more pizzas. Here's Laura's pizza, and here's Nicole's pizza. Laura ate one piece of her pizza. Nicole ate two pieces of her pizza. And it says to shade them in, so here they are in pink. And the question here is, well, did someone eat more pizza? Who ate more pizza? Neither girl ate more pizza. They had the same amount. We know this because the shaded area, the pink, is the same size on both circles. So even though she ate 1/2, Laura ate 1/2, and Nicole ate 2/4, when you shade it in and look at the pictures, they ate the same amount. Nicole ate 1/2 of her pizza, one of the two pieces, which is the same as 2/4 because we made 4 pieces and colored in 2 of those 4 pizzas. We did this a long time ago. If that was quick or if you did not remember us doing that, we're going to go to Brain Pop and get some more background information, try to activate some prior knowledge, and then we're going to look at 4 examples of your questions, and then I will show you your exit ticket, and you're done for the day. See if this works.
This sandwich has 4 equal parts. You took 2/4 of the sandwich. That's the same as 1/2. Equivalent fractions are equal to the same amount, but use different numbers. What are some fractions that are equal to 1/2? Becca and Tasha are sharing a sandwich, and each gets half. Their sandwich has 6 equal parts. So each person gets 3 out of 6 parts, or 3/6 of the sandwich. You can draw pictures to help you see how fractions are equivalent. Mike and Brian are sharing a pizza. Their pizza has 8 equal slices. So each person gets 4 out of 8 slices, or 4/8 of the pizza. 4/8 is equal to 1/2. Moby. On this rectangle, 5 out of 10 equal parts are blue. If you look at the rectangle a slightly different way, you can tell that half is blue. So 5/10 is also equal to 1/2. What are some fractions that are equal to 1/4? 2 out of 8 parts of this quilt are yellow. That means 2/8 of the quilt is yellow. If you look at the quilt a little differently, you can see that 1/4 is yellow. So 2/8 is equal to 1/4. What fraction of the tiles is green? 3 out of the 12 tiles are green, or 3/12. You can also see that 1/4 of the tiles are green, so 3/12 is equal to 1/4. What are some fractions that are equal to 1/3? It's time for dessert. This cake has 6 equal slices. 2 slices have candles, so 2/6 of the cake has candles. If you look at the cake in a slightly different way, you can see that 1/3 has candles. So 2/6 is equal to 1/3. Did you eat the candles too? There are 12 eggs, but 4 of them are cracked. 4/12 of the eggs are cracked. If you group the eggs differently, you can see that 1 out of 3 equal groups are cracked. 1/3 is cracked. So 4/12 is equal to 1/3. You're trying to glue the eggs back together? Okay. Equivalent fractions can show the same amount using different numerators and denominators. It can be a little confusing, but you can draw pictures or build models to help you understand. Not that kind of model.
Oh, Moby. In the video, Annie reminds us to use problem-solving strategies of drawing pictures and models to explain what our thinking is and to break down these fractions. Fractions are kind of like cousins to division because they take things apart and they break them and share them into equal groups, but it takes a lot of visualizing and problem solving. So as you get your work done this week, make sure that you are taking some time to really think about what your answers are and to draw some pictures if you need to. This is a name collection box, and this is just some examples of some equivalent fractions. The name up top is fractions that are the same as or equivalent to 1/2, so they drew 1/2 in this box. And they also showed that you can take the same whole circle and divide it up into different ways, and you'll get different fractions, but they are equal to the same amount shaded in. 1/2, 3/6, 4/8, 6/12. They all divide the circle, differently, but they color in the same amount. These are all equivalent to 1/2. Like in the video, they give examples of 1/4 and 1/3. We can see that 1/4 and 2/8 are equivalent. We can see that 1/3 and 2/6 are equivalent. They have the same amount shaded in, even though the fractions look different. Most of the problems you'll do will have a number line or a fraction bar or a hint to help you. Let's make the screen a little bit bigger. It says complete the equation. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Complete the equation. Here's a hint. Think about how we will fill in the rectangle here to help us with the equivalent fraction. 3/5 is equal to W over 10. Now, this W is a variable that we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's just a placeholder. This means 3/5 is equal to how many tenths? Let me zoom out a second and get my pen back. There we go. Okay. Make it red. 3/5 is equal to how many tenths? So here are my fifths. I need 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. A strategy for equivalent fractions. I'm done with 3/5. I'm going to draw a line right here. I don't need anything else over here. So using this model, all I have to do is count up the tenths to figure out what number goes in the W place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/10 is equal to 3/5. Notice a really cool, look how cool this is. I'll put a 6 over here. It follows a pattern. 3, 6, 5, 10. Our numbers double because there are twice as many. So 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 2 is 10. That's just a cool trick to help you find equivalent fractions. Let's make sure our work is correct. He said keep going, see how we answered the question. He had the same thing. He says equivalent fractions have the same area shaded. How many tenths color in the same as 3/5? Let's shade the parts side by side. So they colored in 3 of the fifths and they colored in 6 of the tenths to see that that is equal. So let's look at the next question. Oh, it's a good one. They are shaded in a different way, trying to trick you, but make sure you read all parts carefully. Complete the equation. M/4 is equal to 6/8. Think about how we can fill them in. Oops. Sorry. Well, eighths, I can see right here, this section right here, 2/8 is the same amount as 1/4. So I can go up to my fourths and very easily make eighths. So I can see down here that there are 2/8 that are not colored in. And we learned over here that 2/8 is the same as 1/4. And I know that I need to figure out how many fours because there's a 4 down here. So I think that 3/4 is equal to 6/8. Let's check our work. Were you able to see what I did? It's kind of weird because I'm drawing on my computer screen, so it's weird. I know that 2/8 is equal to 1/4. So to figure out how many is equal to 6/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can see that there are 2 pieces that are still white, and having 2 1/8 pieces that are white is this guy right here, 1/4. So I know that 3/4 are pink and 1/4 is white, and that's what the number is looking for here. I hope I didn't confuse you because it's kind of weird on the screen. Let's do one more and see if that clears it up a little bit. Which picture has an area equivalent to 3/4? Is it A, B, or C? The clue is to look at the denominator, the 4. Picture A has fraction pieces in fourths, but only one of them is colored in, so it's not A. I'm sorry, computer, it's not A. Thank you. 2 slides ago, we talked about how you can double your numbers to show halves. So my denominator here is 4, so I want to double my number and multiply it by 2. 3 times 2 is 6, and 4 times 2 is 8. And this helps me to figure out what other numbers are equivalent. So I can see that right here I have sixths, and right here I have eighths. 6 is not the denominator, so 6 can't be the right answer. But I do know that I can use eighths to have a connection to 4s, so that has to be the right answer. Let's see if they agree. We have the correct answer that these eighths are equivalent to the 3/4 they asked. It says compare 3/4 to each picture. We can slide the shaded parts together. They're able to do this that I wasn't able to do on our question. But look how cool it is. 3/4 is not equal to 3/6 because the same amount is not shaded. 3/4 is not equivalent to 1/4. That just doesn't make any sense. But if they could rearrange it for you, 3/4 is equivalent to 6/8. They color in the same amount shaded. And this is what it looked like before. They just rearranged those numbers. C/8 is equal to 9/12. The 9/12 are already colored in for me. So I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/8 to make them equal. This is how your last question ends, and I'm glad that you get to see this as your last question because this is going to help you with Tuesday's math. This is your Google form activity for Tuesday. You're going to have fraction bars just like the ones that you just saw, and it says choose the equivalent fraction that fits the blank. 1/2 is equal to blank. My answer choices are 3/6, 1/5, 2/6, or 4/6. So I know already that since my answer choices are 6 underneath the 1/2, it can't be 1/5. So I have to count how many 6 are equal to 1/2. And 1, 2, 3 pieces of 6 are equal to 1/2. So I would click on the A and move on to the next question. That's Tuesday's activity. For Monday's activity, today, you will have an exit ticket left. Maybe. There we go. Your exit ticket, I wanted a really cool equivalent fractions exit ticket, but some of the devices that we use make typing in the fraction bar hard or difficult to do because we have different keys. So I'm just going to go with a secret exit ticket for your accountability. Remember, accountability is taking ownership. Did you do your work today? So you've made it this far. You finished your math for today, and they can't see it bar. Go away. Thank you. Your private comment box today, type number 62 to show me that you did your work today. That's it. No tricks. Type the number 62 in the private comment box. And then press mark is done for today. I hope this review of equivalent fractions activated some prior knowledge in your brain. I hope it helped you see tomorrow's activity. On Wednesday, we're going to switch gears and talk about word problems and multiple step questions using fractions as the numbers that we use. There'll be a video from Ms. Signorino on Wednesday. So, good work today. I hope you're staying healthy at home. If you need anything, let us know, and we'll talk to you soon. Good job, guys.